Hello, and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup, where I'm going to cover the games from earlier this morning in the LPL and LCK, and then preview tomorrow's games in the LPL, LCK, and LCS. My predictions so far on the year, 268 and 129, 3-0 on the day. Reversed these two in terms of specific predictions. I thought LNG would 2-0 Ultra Prime, BLG 2-1 IG. I was not completely accurate in that way. And then I had KT 3-0 and they won 3-1. So on that front, I guess I was inaccurate, but team-wise, accurate. LNG fourth in the power rankings. Those were updated yesterday. If you missed them, won 2-1, obviously, against Ultra Prime, who come in 3-11. Tarzan was my MVP. LP went 12, 7, and 15 at 80 carry, 28% of LNG's damage. Hung 3, 4, and 28 in the support role, so the bot lane doing a lot of work. It's kind of funny because we're doing MVP voting on the Discord after games, and Tarzan and Scout got a lot of the praise. I picked Tarzan, like I just said, and Scout won player of the game for the LPL. But like stats wise, it was the 80 carry and support that actually looked the sexiest. Doggo 889, 27% of damage for Ultra Prime. LNG looked pretty damn good. Tarzan all over the place in game one. I believe he was on the Lee Sin and was nasty. Tarzan has really returned to form after last year leaving a lot to be desired. Probably one of the most underperforming elite players there were. Really disappointing. And has returned to a high level of play alongside Scout, who has looked fabulous. But the bot lane, LP, has been very impressive as a rookie. I did not expect coming into this year, and I said it multiple times, I thought LNG, this was the question mark, was this bot lane? LP and Hung. Hung, coming from FPX, a bit of an inter, a young player with only, I think, a couple of years of experience, if that. And then LP, a rookie alongside him. Like, what were we going to get out of this? Zika, coming from IG. What was LNG going to be? And LNG has been able to improve, and the bot lane has been able to be solid. Game 2 for this one, Ultra Prime obviously won because it went to 3 games. I thought that the top side of the rift, Harry, was very impactful. Ning also did some nice things. I think he had the Xin Zhao in game 2. Game 1, he was awful. He died like 8 times. Ning has put together a few games in a row leading into that one that was pretty bad. I think I want to say 122 and whatever might have been the KDA. But in game 2, Ultra Prime found a way. And they won in convincing fashion as well. Got Harry ahead, like I said, and Harry was able to do some work. Doggo, this was the game where he actually did something. I mean, the 889 KDA looks pretty awful when you take away the game 2 stats. He was able to take Elder. It was a slower game. And Forge, Forge hasn't made much of a difference to this team. I don't think Forge should be in the lineup, to be honest with you, but I understand, I guess. I understand, Ching might not have been 100% ready, and he was not playing extremely well. We went over this a couple days ago, but it's kind of late in the going to go with Forge. Game 3, LNG did work. They completely railroaded Ultra Prime. Excuse me. It was a little slower in the early game, but once things got really underway, Ultra Prime didn't have much for LNG. And, the result is the result. Tarzan's MVP because he was all over the place. Pretty much the whole series. I thought that he was integral to their success. IG and BLG, IG 7 and 8, BLG 9 and 4, 11th in the power rankings. I think they're supposed to be 9 and 5 on here. That was a mistake. A thing that I had misjudged with this one. Well, I wouldn't say misjudged. I normally don't check the rosters before this. I just don't. I can and I don't. Especially before my predictions. And honestly, I would have went 2-0 if I had known YSCam wasn't playing. IG, before YSCam had his issue where he had to go to the hospital with heart problems, IG were in a really good place. They were dominant. They were really impressive. And at the time, I said, this is a problem. Not only, let's take the competitive side out of it, this is concerning that a young man is having such difficulties, and they have to adjust the way he prepares and the way the team prepares to make sure this doesn't happen, to figure out what the hell's going on with him, And ever since then, IG has went off the rails. Very similarly to anyone's legend in summer last year, we saw them be very good in the early part of the split, and then in the mid part of the split, wheels fall off the wagon, and they fall, down a chasm, which is a non-playoff team. And IG just continued to do that, and it kind of ended today with Nenny playing for YSCAM. And I won't say Ben dominated top lane, because he certainly didn't. He was probably the worst player for BLG, in my opinion, in this series. He dealt a lot of damage, but his KDA was disgusting. BLG win 2-0. Elk was my MVP. I thought that between both games he was very good. Individually, Yagao in game 1 was exceptional. Shun in game 2, exceptional. Elk in both games, very good. So in the end, I go with Elk because of that. I think you can track that logic there. Elk, 22 kills, 7 deaths, 21 assists, 34% of the team's damage, almost 1,000 damage per minute. Yagao, 14-1 and 21. He had like 11 or more kills on LeBlanc in game 1. A game that was very close, that featured, I remember at one point it was 55 kills through 39 minutes. I was like, is this a joke in the Discord? I'm like, this has to be a joke. What the hell is this? IG have something to play for. Why is this happening? An absolute disaster. On went 11 kills, 14 deaths, 8 assists for 30% of IG's damage. I thought On did some really nice things on the Aphelios, but otherwise, IG really had nothing going for themselves. I mean, it was just, they were ahead in game 1 and kept up with BLG, but it just felt like anytime they got something going, Yagao had an answer, and Yagao kept BLG in the game for a long time. And then Elk started getting kills on Zeri. He ended up with more than 10 kills in both games, and it just ended up being a case where they had no carry. Like, On is carrying, but there's no secondary carry, right? Dove is not a carry. YSCAM is, but Dove is not. So without YSCAM, with Nenny up there, I mean, IG really went top lane a lot to get Bin behind, but outside of like the kills, Bin was ahead in CS in both games, especially game 1. And now you could say that's because he had Ken in both games, but the Nar Kennen matchup in game 1, he figured to be closer than obviously Malphite into Kennen. Nenny's Malphite would be struggling in that sense, but I remember in game 1, Bin was 3-8-7 and up only like 10, 12 CS and had a bounty. And I'm like, Jesus, how the hell did this happen? What is this? Just the bounty system, I guess. But nevertheless, game 2, Shun all over the place on the Lee Sin. I mean, one of the better Lee Sin games you're going to see. And somehow was able to get a ton of kills. And, you got to respect a 13-kill Lee Sin game. Those don't happen every day. BLG doing work. 11th in the power rankings, are going up. They play OMG to end out the split, and that's going to be quite a big game as we try and figure out who is going to be let's see here. My power rankings are over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Battle for 5th best LPL team. LCK this morning, opening of the playoffs. Sandbox 22nd at 10-8. KT 3rd at 13-5. KT would win 3-1. BDD going 5-4-25. Led the team in damage with 25%, a very even spread. Cuz was my MVP, going 13-5-28. I thought that he played exceptional, and I wonder if a lot of that has to do with the fact that he kind of sucked at times throughout the split. Envy 10-10-10 for 36% of Sandbox's damage. Envy and Eamon going back and forth. I thought there were some interesting things in the bot lane for sure. Lahan's playing Blitzcrank a couple times. Made that matchup interesting, like they really wanted to get after Sandbox, and it didn't really work out that way for them. Which you got to give Sandbox's bot lane credit that they're able to withstand laning phase in that situation. Keen, a lot of people picked him as MVP. I think that's because of his champion decisions. He played Urgot and had a great game on Urgot. I'm not going to take that away from him. And a couple Malphite games that were, the second one, game 4, being much better than I thought the other one was. But across the entire series, it's hard for me to go away from Cuz. I thought Cuz on the Xin Zhao was really good in game 1. I thought they played a very good Sejuani game. And throughout the entire series, I thought he really did well. Where Keen, I thought there were one game or maybe 1.5 games or so where I said, Keen's playing very well. He's against Birdall, though. So how much impact is he having on this series versus what Cuz is doing? Obviously, BDD has a lot of impact that's not seen in KDA because of damage numbers. He found a way to make something happen. Lahen's on that blitzcrank when it came to team fights and stuff. He was able to find things and find opportunities. But in laning phase, like I said, I thought that KT didn't really take advantage of Sandbox all that much. So in the end, Cuz versus Willer, I thought Cuz was the difference maker. KT, it's a tough thing to think about here. Because you got Gen G, D+, and KT. I talked about it yesterday. If you missed the power rankings, who is the second seed? I think we can say who we think is the second best team, but how confident, is that take? It's behind an anonymous wall. There's nothing behind it. I mean, we can just type what I think X is second. 4 words, and 3 letters or 2 letters to represent the team, and it's okay, well, nice. I really don't think it's well, I think people can find a way to say something confidently about it, but I don't think it's as easy as people make it out to be between KT, Gen G, and D+. So, KT 3-1 against Sandbox. Sneak peek for tomorrow, RA and RNG. Both teams still eligible for the playoffs. Rare Atom 5-9, RNG 7-8. Rare Atom lost to JDG last time they're on the Rift, and RNG lost to NIP. Week 8, RNG would win 2-0 in Summer. 7 of the 10 starters from that one are starting tomorrow. Rare Atom bot lane being different. It was iBoy Uyanja in that one, and now it is Assume and I believe Southwind. I didn't check if it's going to be Southwind or BKR. And RNG, Zhao Hu is out. Angel, I suppose, is in. Matchup I'm highlighting is Wei in the jungle. Went 6-1-14, 16% of damage. Lan 3-5-2 for 14% for Rare Atom. FPX and Top Esports. So FPX 4-11, Top 8-7, 15th in the power rankings, and Top Esports have brought back Wayward. Yes, the final series of the split, Wayward's going to play against a team that isn't very good. So what's this going to do? This is going to set up expectations. Look how good Wayward's done. Now Wayward should play in the playoffs because look how good he did. And it's it's been one series against a bad team. We have no idea now what's going to happen, because if Wayward does well, does he play over Qingtian? And if things don't go well, was it because of Wayward? Was it not? I think that this is a disaster waiting to happen, but Top Esports have been a disaster for a month or so now. They're coming off of a loss to OMG. FPX coming off of a big win against EDG. They're already out of the playoffs. Week 3 of Summer, Top would win 2-1. 7 of the 10 starters overlap. The 3 that don't, Knight no longer on top, and Rookie is. And then FPX, Clid not playing for them anymore, obviously. And Hung, who we have over here, not playing with them. Wayward went 13 kills, 7 deaths, 24 assists for 29% of Top's damage last year. Zhao Hu 6, 13, and 11 for 24% for FPX. That should be an interesting top lane matchup. LCK playoffs, HLE 17th in my power rankings at 10-8 against D+, who are 7th at 12-6. HLE lost to Sandbox. They did not. I reversed this. So I know you can't read it, but I'm going to acknowledge it. HLE beat Sandbox, and D+ lost to Gen G. Week 7 of Summer, D+ would win 2-0 the last time they faced off. Showmaker went 6-2-17 for 22% of D+'s damage. So, nice KDA, not a lot of damage. Zeka, on the other hand, despite losing 2-0, only died twice, going 2-2-3, and still had 30% of the team's damage. So somehow, still put up carry-like damage numbers, and didn't die while everybody around him died. LCS, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, 24th in the power rankings at 10-8. FlyQuest, 16th at 14-4. FlyQuest coming off of a loss to CLG, 100 lost to C9. 100 Thieves coming off of a win against CLG. 100 Thieves are riding a hot streak ever since they replaced Kaz with Nuke Duck. They went 5-0 this past weekend, winning all 3 games and then 2 tiebreakers. So 100 Thieves are coming in hot, and FlyQuest are coming in limping. The last time these two teams played, it was a bit of a diffy. Prince went 14-0-1 in that one for 43% of FlyQuest's damage. Doublelift 3-4-4 for 24%. So we'll see how this one goes. Definitely, like I said, a situation where you have one team very confident, another team probably without confidence. I think about it last year. So I'm thinking back to last year. I'm thinking about the LCK, and I'm thinking about Prince. Sandbox in the playoffs did not do that well, despite having a great split. And a lot of people said, it's not Prince's fault. But I felt like Prince kind of didn't show up in those playoffs. I think I said that. And we're going to see if he shows up tomorrow against who he considers the reason why he plays League of Legends in Doublelift. So it's definitely going to be something interesting to monitor. See if he can, show up in a high-pressure situation. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a member or a supporter. And thank you for watching.